Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Basically, we started this week in a pre-camp with 28 players. We already had 4 international players here, and 7 more will join us to Johannesburg. Today, we had an internal game, like Sine was announcing. So we needed to do a cut down after the game. We released 11 players out of the camp, so that together with the 7 internationals we will head with 24 players to Johannesburg on Monday. Next week we're gonna enter into the international camp. In Johannesburg we will play and face Saturday Botswana at 3 p.m. And following Tuesday we're gonna face South Africa also at 3 p.m. local time. Yeah, so we are very happy that we have the full power of the squad the first time in, because so far not all the internationals could ever join together in April. The US players could not join in February, and Chilufi and Janda were out to other reasons, so this time fully power is in. It makes me excited to go on the pitch, and looking forward to 2 high-level games. Besides, we are at the moment running a lot of operational things towards the WAFCON. So this week was also medical testing, providing fitness, starting the rhythm of the domestic and local players who have been already in break. So you see at the moment we also face around a lot of operational things which we need to provide. So the internationals will arrive Monday here in Lusaka for a quick turn to the medical testing, and then we bring them also Tuesday evening to Johannesburg. You ask about the youth players. Yeah, basically we are monitoring at the moment around 180 players in Zambia. A bit in the closer radar, it's around 40 players, so this squad list was on 35 players based. For me, we have very interesting talents. I mean, under 17 proved with the World Cup qualification, COSAFA title. My opinion is that in the under 20 level, where we qualify probably next year for the World Cup, we have even more and also very exciting talents. So I think it's about to find a good mixture. We have experienced international players, but also the most talented young ones. I always want to attach them, give them exposure time, give them also sometimes playing time, it's possible, and when they are performance-wise ready, I also put them in the starter 11. So Mercy in China, she started twice on the wing because her performance was good enough to say, yes, you deserve it. So that's the reason.
Yes.
Hello, Coach.
Hi.
My name is Jane Dunta Mwemba. Coming or going back to the first game against Malawi early this year, and now you're going to play 2 more games come next month, and of course ahead of the WAFCON in July. What have you worked on going forward, even as you are preparing for the WAFCON in July?
Yes, it's a very good question. Thank you very much. Basically, in the beginning, we said we're going to structure much more our possession game. It was a bit too much chipante for me. So I just believe that we need to have a good idea in build-up, creating overload, also working on the distances, because the thing is when we have too much distances between our players and we play chipante, so we cannot regain the ball once we lose it. So this was a bit the starting point. I think even when today I watched the internal game with President, then you see already the outcome. With this, we also shifted some players on position, because when you want to change a little bit the style, sometimes you also need to pick other players who have the skills to provide this style of play. This was the first topic. A second topic is still ongoing, the defense. We get scored too many goals. In China, you saw that most of we received in the last 20 minutes. First of all, we had a bit too much changements. I want to give exposure to all of the players, but we saw that then our performance dropped. For some, it's maybe also a bit physical topic. So at the moment in the pre-camp we provided a lot of shuttle runs, also to up-level them, that we can keep the focus and the performance over 90 minutes high. There I still think we have area to improve, and I'm curious about now Botswana and South Africa, which will challenge us that we can keep now this performance, which we have done well, 60-70 minutes over 90 minutes. It's a bit mental, a bit physical, and of course we enter now a bit in a stage where we cannot anymore, we now need to create stability and cannot anymore change too much and try, So we go now a bit in a closer focus to WAFCON, where we need to find the final line of 4 and give them, with the holdings, also a certain kind of exposure time, that they get used to each other and get the confidence, and that the automatism get better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Yes. Coach, before this particular friendlies, you had the Malawi friendlies, which you said you were like 75% ready for the Africa. How important is these friendly games as you go to the WAFCON, and how many more international friendlies would you want to have before the WAFCON?
Yes. So on your first question, with Botswana and South Africa, we face 2 opponents who are also participating on the WAFCON. They qualified. They are a bit different style. And South Africa, as you know, is the competing champion. So we have a good, how do you say in English, graduation level that we can prove us on a highest African level. We have been in discussion also with countries out of Africa. Sometimes I like also to get different tactical challenges. But finally we ended up now in conclusion with this game. So I'm happy that we can go on, that we have the full squad together and can provide game to test us now, our automatism, like I told before. To your second question, after the Johannesburg trip, we come back, we give the players a bit rest, and then we re-enter in a pre-camp with the bigger squad. We always need to have, basically, in my opinion, 35 players ready, or 40. You never know, issues about passports or injuries or whatever. A lot of things can happen, so it needs a wider group to be prepared. And then we enter 2 weeks before the WAFCON in the pre-camp with international friendlies. We're in negotiation. I hope we're going to end up somewhere where the heat is on. It's going to get very hot in summer in Morocco. So we're looking to Egypt or somewhere there to have at least 1, maybe 2 games. But usually this time, then I want to also train a lot tactical-wise. So. Basically, you need to prove the situation of each player individual. There's not a general answer on your question, because certain players domestic, they come out of a break, but we build them up so that they're ready. With the internationals who are still in championship, we are always in close negotiation and relation with the clubs. Basically, we listen to their situation. We also coordinate the travels, that like Orlando players, they played now yesterday a game, Rachel today, so that we ensure they have a smooth travel, can get over the jet lag. We also try to provide them back as soon as possible, that the club has them ready to play for the next game. For me, in the overall discussion, we always need to put the player in the center, because me as national team coach, I always want to have the best on the pitch, of course. The club too, but sometimes we also need to take a bit care that we not overload. In the end, when the player is getting injured, then nobody has a benefit, So usually I listen to the club opinion, and then I speak good with our players, because they have a very good feeling also. Are they ready to perform fully? Sometimes maybe they bring a fatigue, a little medical issue, and then we need to consider this just to ensure that they are then at the WAFCON full ready to play.
So what's the situation like for Grace Chandler in this case? She hasn't been playing full matches at Orlando.
Yeah.
What's the situation right now?
Yeah, Grace is coming out of a long injury. She has done the proper build-up. We wanted to bring her already to China. Unfortunately, they have not been able to travel. So there we are in close exchange with the athletic department of Orlando. So they send us always a report where they document the fully build-up they have done. So we know exactly how much we can load her, in terms of what is not bringing her in danger. We respect it. We also respect that they need to do some individual work. And then it's maybe for her, but also a chance to get playing minute in national team, because the competition is so high in Orlando. It's not easy just to enter and to get your minutes. So sometimes it's also a chance that we can say, yeah, but we can give her, the exposure. So at the moment we are there in a good exchange, and you will see then the outcome. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. My name is Mike Munira from New Studios. Good to see you, Coach, at WOW. We do have a new leadership at PAS. Of course, a new executive is in. Based on the meetings you have had with the new leadership, how happy are you to their commitment to supporting your dream as Copa Queens coach?
Yes, it's of course an obvious question you ask. So first of all, I had a good relation with the past leadership. I appreciate the trust they gave me also to appoint me. I think when we see where our national teams are, we qualified for all the big tournaments, so they left also a legacy. Now we have a changement. So for me, I was also curious, what is waiting here for me, and I had a long chat yesterday with President. We met here, I made a presentation about the roadmap from the Copper Queens. Where are we at the moment? How is the squad looking? What steps do we want to take? And also enrolling a bit, what are the issues that we're facing operational wise? The elections have not been easy also, because as it has been happening twice, it also got stuck in certain operational things for us. And we had a very transparent chat. I was very happy, to exchange. He seems to be a football person. He comes out of a club, understands also very good what we need operational wise. We deal with video tools and so on, and this is the way it's our working ethos, and that he understands it and fully supports it. So the exchange was, in my opinion, very positive. This morning we have been on the pitch. He joined the internal game, so also to get a feeling, for the squad. So for me, I'm very positive, looking forward. Got a very open doors, open-minded person as president, and so I'm happy to start the work.
That's a question. Obviously, Coach, you say you have 7 professionals in the team. What would be the demands from you, especially to all the players that are what are you going to be demanding? And what's the message that you're preaching to the team, knowing that the WAFCON is running present?
Yeah, basically we have 11 internationals in the squad. 4 have already had touchdown just before the international camps, and we integrated them a bit in the pre-camp. So for me, it's we take the next step on our mission towards the WAFCON. We need to get very quick on game modus, like I addressed what we are working at the moment on. It's also, but then beside, to understand the role we are giving them. Finally we can just not take all the 24 to a WAFCON. So what is the expectations to their role? Do they agree their role? Are they willing to interpret it, and also are able to interpret the role? Also giving them maybe some tasks then in between, what they need to work again on the club. We are still, beside the whole football part, always working on our team. For me, the team building, the cohesion is crucial. We are still on shaping our values, that we are clear about what we are standing in. So beside, we have at the moment a lot of tasks to work on. I'm fully excited that all are in, and I have the feeling that after this week, after these 2 games, we have a clear frame how we're going to act forward, and then it's just to go in the preparation, and then it's screwing the tiny screws, you know. So, yeah.
Good afternoon, Coach. My name is Abraham Mulajuna, UST Vet. I'm happy that you find a way in the last 10 minutes of giving us putting the skills fighting and all that. How fast or how slow do you think the players are adapting to your playing system? At what pace are the players adapting to your system?
It's also a very good question. Basically, we need always to know that in national team you don't have a lot of training time, you know. So we go to South Africa, usually we have like 2 tactical trainings, maybe so, and then we need to perform. So in this less time, it's for me always a limbo. How much do I want to change and bring new things? So in February and April was the focus really to implement certain new ideas. Usually when you do this, in the beginning you destabilize a little bit the team. It's for all of us, you know, when we need to learn something new, then we are a little bit unsecure in it until we have tested it several, and then you get the security back. And now we are a bit in this mood that now we restabilize what we have built on. So I'm satisfied where we are at the moment. There's still, I would say, certain little screw to work on. But for me, the adaptation, the understanding, and especially the willingness, you know, to put this and perform it on the pitch, it's 100% here. So far I'm convinced, and I think these 2 games give us another indication, you know, on what we still need to work on. Certain things are also, you know, concluded in from agency to FA, and it's not about me to speak. I'm here. I'm fully committed, you know. I always deliver 150% or even more, you know. So I'm curious and still very excited about the journey we go. So I am committed. I'm here. I'm a rock. So nothing can make me shaking. So just to give a statement of this.
And Coach, based on your assessment of foreign-based players, how happy are you with their performance out there? And of course, you can also talk about the performance of Barbara Banda. Today did score first hat-trick for Orlando Pride. Just how exciting is that for you, and of course as you prepare for the AFCON?
Yeah, absolutely exciting. We had a quick message exchange. I congratulated Barbara. I said, you are on fire because you are so excited to come back to Zambia. So you just throw in a hat trick. And no, I'm always happy when my players have a good exposure in the club. Barbara is a key player for top club in the USA. They also had a few hard games. So now I'm happy that they also could make a bit the turnaround. For me, it makes work much easier when they come, you know, in this good shape, in this good mood. I think Priska also gets her playing minute. I'm happy that she found her spot in the squad and gets also exposure time. Grace a bit longer out of injury, but she also collected some minutes beside, not in the top team. Rudy is in BFC, a starting player. They also have a bit tighter season this year. So we are monitoring them all. Also in China, you know, we also have with Wise got access to the Chinese league. Frida had a good start there, you know. So I'm happy that they are in good mood. Unfortunately, Ojumba, she's out for ACL in China, but the others so far, Nachula with Jerusalem, they just play cup final Sunday, so all good. I think those who we have abroad perform well, and we could say maybe that it can also be the chance for other players to go abroad, to step abroad after the WAFCON with the exposure to the world.
Hi Coach, my name is Ndashi. I'm from Crown TV. I just want to find out how you marry the international players with that of the local players, how you manage to mix their style of football with the local players' style of football when it comes to training and also going into matches.
Yeah, basically, I mean, these players know each other since ever, you know, they play the youth national team, they play tournaments together, so it's not that the domestic and the international players are like marrying good together, so I think also mood-wise, they always are excited to see, it's like a family, you know, when you come back, yeah, it's a special kind of relation that you have, to be happy to be back at your home, let's say like this. I think it's always a challenge. I mean, yeah, when the international top players are coming back, then we need to frame the squad also around them. You know, that how can we put all of them together in a good frame. Sometimes it's difficult for domestic players. Like today, I needed to send the 11 players back. It's not that they perform that good, but we bring 7 players in striker, winger 10 position. So this whole package we have in front, the magic diamond I call it, you know, it's at the moment quite hard for the domestic players to compete there for a spot. So at the moment, like with, for example, 3 CESCO players, we needed to release home, because they have been bad. But when Barbara is coming, Rachel's here, you know, then they understand this also. Basically, it's also very good, you know, they come with confidence, with experience. So always, it's also for our domestic players, they look up to them, but it's never that they're gonna be treated like, you know, from up to down. So all our players are very on eye height, and this I like, that we are not, you know, like pushing down. It's the inverse. We always ensure that we level up, you know, young players, domestic players, because the better everybody is performing and feeling well, the better our output is. So that's a bit the approach we go. Yeah, and for me, I'm excited to have them.
Coach, my question is quite similar to hers. In China, you didn't have most of the experienced players, but this time around, you've got a chance of giving it a blend of foreign that's experienced at that level and some of the local players. How exciting or challenging is it for you? And what would you like to see in terms of attitude from the local players that will be given a chance to play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in China it was also a chance, you know, to give exposure to local players, because and we said when we travel with 24 players, we put over 20 players on the pitch in these 2 games. So we said it's really exposure time, everybody gets it. This was interesting also for us, that we can really prove them on the performance. There were good opponents with Thailand, Uzbekistan, top 40, top 50 ahead of us in the world. We saw that we can go with this squad. We had like 60-70 minutes. We can dominate even teams ahead. But we saw also that we missed with the last 20 minutes. Some stamina. So now when everybody's back, now it's perform to win time. Sometimes we had more now the focus perform to train things, you know, and now it's perform to win. So we really start to working only results, you know, and now we have less focus on giving exposure to everybody. So I ask 100% performance, and we are working now really to get in this mood, you know, in this tournament mood. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Coach. I think we've unless it's a very pressing question.
I wanted to ask just one last question.
Mm-hmm. It's a very pressing question.
Somehow, I would like to find out from you what your objectives are going into the WAFCON, knowing very well that previously they finished as bronze medalists.
Mm-hmm. I think we always need to you know, split a little bit what is a vision, what is an objective, you know, and there are result objectives we have, but there are other objectives like performance objectives. So we always are there quite clear. Of course, the vision is to win the WAFCON. That's why I'm here. That's what's motivating overall us. But we cannot just announce that we're going to win it. We need to know what action steps, performance steps we need to take, you know, and this gives us then objectives. For example, when you want the number of objectives, we cannot get more than 1 goal against in when we want to win a tournament per game, you know. So this is a graduation where it gives us an objective defending wise, and like this. We separate a bit what is the objectives before the tournament. For example, also like players need to be the fittest possible. You know, it's also a bit individual responsibility they're gonna take. You know, but what is an objective then in the pre-camp and in the group stage? You know, that we split it a bit and that we create a pathway that we can tick. Okay, we have done this, we have done this, and I believe when we do all those steps properly, yes, we have the potential to win the WAFCON, but it will not just happen by purpose. You know, so that's a bit my answer.
Thank you so much.